Hi guys, welcome to Campus Channel. We're here with ESCP Europe, the first business school in Europe. We're here to talk about their master's program in European business. So now it's time to ask your toughest questions so you can figure it all out. Here we go. Pascale Martin-Saint-Etienne, director of the MEB or MEB.
As you want.
As we want, okay. And Casey Browning, current student, MEB student class of 2013. Okay. If it's okay with you, we'll give you the first 2 minutes, to present the purpose of this live session, and then it's the speech.
Yes, hello, good morning. So my name is Pascale Martin-Saint-Etienne. I'm in charge of the Master in Europe and Business at ESCP Europe, which is one of the master programs offered by the school. The MEB is a very general management program in 1 year, 2 countries. The purpose of this program is to train students who have a different background and coming for learning about all business and management in a very, very intensive and complete program. So it's a program which is offered in 2 countries. So you have 2 semesters of study and you have 2 change of semester. So you can study completely in Europe, or you can study now with our international partners in Russia, in India, and in America Latina. So this is it. So if you have any questions now, I'm ready to answer with Kaze, who is one of my students this year, and she's coming from USA.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, you know the rules. It's our turn to ask you questions. It's a face-to-face.
Yes, we're ready.
Okay, it's a live session. Again, this is a unique opportunity to ask your toughest questions about the Masters in European Business. So, my role is to make sure you get the right answers, but you ask the questions. Here we go.
So you say on the website it's Master's Design as an MBA. Applicants...
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm going?
Yeah.
On the
First
website
question.
you said it's Master's Design as an MBA. Applicants are the same average age than in an MBA. So for what reason is this program not an MBA? Design as an MBA doesn't mean anything. So what we mean when we say that it's designed like an MBA, it's for the contents and for the courses. It's a style curriculum MBA. But the fact is that we have students who have no professional experience and some have some professional experience. The range of ages go from 22 to 30. And this is also the idea of having people who want to get a professional program without being in business before. Usually in MBA, you have people who have more than 3, 4, 5 professional experience and coming from already, they have a background in business and they want to go further in their jobs. With the MEB, what we are doing is also to propose for people to change their life and to change their first career. So sometimes we have people coming from history and they want to go into business. So we have a range of diverse really
So would you call this a kind of hybrid program?
It's a master in 1 year.
Strictly separate from...
It's 25 years old, so it's really not old as we have in an MBA, which is more about 28 or 29 years old. And we have that range of really different backgrounds, maybe more than we find in an MBA. But Kazi, maybe you could say something about it.
I think one of the major differences is the age and the experience level that people have coming into the program. We have people who really want to change, reorient their careers. And so, for example, joining an MBA, you've probably already gained 3 to 5 years of experience. But when you come into the MEB, it's really you've gained a first experience professionally, and it's a generalist curriculum. So you're really there to learn the basics of management and to prepare yourself.
So concretely, what does that mean
in terms of
courses?
In terms of courses, that would be, I'm not sure that it is different from an MBA. It might just be that we do it in 1 year and it's an introduction. We have classes in finance, we have classes in operations management. We really have a full range of classes that prepare you to become a manager, whereas someone that has 3 to 5 years of experience, they already have an idea of how they want to orient their career. This is really a generalist education for people who want to reorient themselves.
Okay. Generalist versus specific.
Right.
Okay, great.
Very generalist.
Right.
How do students make the choice of campus? Oh, maybe I can leave Kaze to answer this question, and I will say something about it.
There's a huge range of choices in terms of the campus. Personally, I chose to look at Paris, Madrid, and Berlin. I chose based on language. I really wanted a school that gave me the opportunity to study in languages other than English. In coming to...
So which campuses are that?
So for example, I ended up choosing Paris and Berlin. In Paris, all of my classes are given in French. And next semester, I will be going to Berlin. I will be taking my classes in English, but that gives me the opportunity to immerse myself in another European country and to hopefully learn some German. So I think a lot of students make the choice based on either where they want to work in the future or the languages that they want to work on.
And what are some other major differences between each campus concretely? Do they have a different focus? The curriculum is different?
No, they're not. It's really the same program, integrated program on different campuses.
Okay.
The idea is that people can choose for the first semester to study in the local language. So in Paris it's in French, in Berlin in German, in Spain it's in Spanish, and in Italy it's in Italian.
Okay.
And of course in UK it's in English. The second semester is all in English. So people sometimes have not the level to study in French for foreigners, for instance. So they can start in London and come to France in second semester. They will study in English.
But at what point do they have to make the choice?
The choice must be done according to the professional goals. For someone who has studied, for instance, in France, for a French guy, I recommend to do the MEB completely outside and to take it as a real international tool, just to focus on where they want to do after, where they want to go and work, in which country, which language. So these questions must be asked before coming into the program. And it's the reason also that we propose now in English some partnerships in Russia, in America Latina, in India, for people who wanted to work into 1 year, 2 continents to study, and to work after in between, for instance, India and Europe, or wanted to work in these countries. And I must add that all these countries add a double degree, national degree in Russia, national degree in Mexico, and a national degree in India, which is important for people if they really want to work in these countries.
Mm-hmm.
So
and would you say that the quality of the program, it's very consistent throughout the different campuses? What do students say? Are there some campuses that are easier, others that are harder? What are the reputations of the campuses?
I've only been here for 1 semester, but as far as I've heard, I've started speaking with students. I'm getting ready to go to Berlin, so I've started speaking with students who are coming from one of the partner institutions in India to study in Berlin, people that have studied in Italy or London beforehand, and I feel like everyone has pretty much the same classes, and I feel like everyone is content with the classes, but I can't say, having only done 1 semester, I can't say that it would be easier or harder, but I have a feeling that it's probably going to be a pretty standard curriculum.
Okay, cool.
According to this question, I just add that we have a governance including 3 meetings annual. Some people, all the director of studies are coming from the campuses and from the partners. So we really work all together in order to propose same program with same contents. This is very important. So harmonization of the contents in semester 1 and semester 2, the different locations is really very important.
Okay.
Is that possible to change our mind about the choice of the second semester during the first one? It will not be anymore the case because it's too difficult for us to manage this option. So the choice must really be done before. It was possible until today, but I think we're going to change this rule. So sorry for that.
Yeah.
Why was there this change?
The change was people changing their mind but it's really too difficult for us to manage. So the choice must be done before going to the school. At the admission session, they can choose before they just decide to come into. They can ask for a change, but once they are admitted and they said, okay, I'm taking this offer and this program, they will not be able to change again.
Okay.
I am from India and applying to Gurgen Berlin track. What I suppose to submit an application to MBA Gurgen, also for this track apart from ESCP online application. Is there any restriction that Indians cannot choose this track? No. For us, the idea with our partners in India, in Russia, and in Mexico, the people wanted to start. They have to apply in these countries, in these universities. They can't apply if they want to choose to go to MDI for first semester. To apply, if they are Indian, if they are European, of course, they can apply in Europe. But for people living in India, people living in Mexico, and Russian students wanted to study in their country, they must really apply in their country for this first semester. I'm right? You understood?
So just to make it clear, if you're a student from India
Yes.
Russia or Mexico.
If you have studied in this country, then you want to start in this country in the HSE.
In the same country.
Yes,
Yeah.
you have to apply in this university.
Okay.
What is the selection rate? What do you consider the good application and bad application? Alors, the selection rate, we have around 950 students each year, and we have classes around 230, 220, it depends. So the rate is about 1 on 4, 1 on 5, it depends. So what do you consider as a good application and bad application? But the bad application is the people who are coming just because they don't know what they want to do, and they say, okay, this is a very good school, ESCP Europe is very famous and known, I just want to get a network and a brand, so I'm coming here, I'm doing this master with no professional objectives. So this
going back to the applicant pool, you know, out of those, how many applicants did you say again there were?
More than around 950.
950 each year. How many would you say are relevant? Is it a strong applicant pool? Are there some people that right away do not qualify? Do you have some kind of...
Yes. For instance, someone who has a business background, coming from a business school and wanted to apply without any professional experience and really having studied for 5 years or 3 years, business, they have nothing to do in the MEB. So MEB is really, as we study, like a MBA style curriculum, I mean that it's really the fundamental of management. So you study finance, you study human resources, marketing, operational management. So this is all...
But isn't this program specifically for people that have not enough experience for an MBA? So
yes, less experience, sometimes it depends.
But you still have some minimal experience required, is that what you're saying?
We recommend a 2 years professional experience. In France, it's quite different because we have many, in the Grandes Écoles in France, people have a lot of professional experience included into their training. For instance, they do a gap year between the Master 1 and Master 2. They have a lot of internships. Sometimes they do a 1 year post-degree. So these people are really welcome in the program. What we don't want to have is really, if we can, we hesitate on someone who is 21st year old, for instance, with just a bachelor degree and wanting to come into...
from school.
This is not, yes. I prefer him to go to the MEB, Master in Management of the school, which is a 2 years management program and more for this kind of people. So we want maturity.
A few more, just to give some examples of some good candidates. What do good candidates have? What are some, so you already explained some weaknesses. What are some good examples of strengths that candidates can have?
I have a good example here, so do you want to talk about your background?
Yeah, that leads actually perfectly into our next question about your academic background. There we go.
So, Casey, what is your academic background? Sincerely, why did you choose to apply to the MEB? My academic background is, I'm American. I have 2 bachelor's degrees with honors from the University of Georgia, one of them in language and the other one in international affairs. After I got my degrees, I decided to start working for 2 years. I worked in media. And I think this program was a good fit for me because it's specifically designed for people who did not do a business school before. And I think a lot of candidates like myself might find themselves in the position where they decide they need a business degree and that they do want to continue in a certain field.
So you said you worked after school?
Right. I worked for 2 years.
2 years.
In media. I worked for Gannett, which is one of the largest media groups in the U.S. And I did not have a business degree and I didn't have a master's. So this program was a really good way for someone who didn't study business or management before to integrate into a management program to learn all of the basics and to really open up the opportunities that they have afterwards in the professional world.
And what was your initial perception of ESCP? I mean, what other programs did you apply to? How did it compare to other programs when you were looking at going to business school?
Sure, that's a good question. I applied to, in France, ESSEC, ESCP, and HEC. I was interested in different programs for all 3 of them, but when I started looking at what I really wanted, I wanted to make sure that I was, number one, not out of the workforce for too long. A lot of the programs offered are more than 2 years, including the internship, and that was too long for me. Having already gained work experience, I really wanted to get back into the work world quickly. So this program is 1 year. Within the 1 year, I have 2 different consultancy projects that I do. So that already gave me the opportunity to integrate 2 different projects into my CV. And then also I really wanted a program that gave me the opportunity to study in different languages, but also asked me to adapt myself. So when I was looking at programs, whether they be in France or in other countries in the US, starting in Spain, I found that a lot of programs that were international, I stayed in one campus and I spoke one language, be it English, French, Spanish. And what really appealed to me with the MEB and why I chose it is because I'm asked to go to 2 countries within 1 year, to speak 2 different languages within 1 year, and then also to integrate myself into a team of 5 or 6 international students and work with a company. And I think that is completely invaluable to me. That's really what I was looking for. You have to be able to adapt, and every one of the students in my class has been asked to do that.
Okay, and that was something that you didn't see offered really by
There
the
obviously
other
a
schools.
lot of programs offer you an internship of 6 months at the end, and that's something that's included in the MEB. But what I didn't see is each semester a consultancy project where you really work in a team one-on-one with a business in that country. This semester I worked with Bacardi Martini, and I worked directly with their marketing department. And that's something that is invaluable to me. That's something that's already on my CV or my resume. And had I chosen another program, I would have had something great on my resume in terms of education, but in terms of professional experience working in another language, that would have been lacking. So.
Okay.
On the internet, some people express a critical view on the content of the MEB. It seems like the content is too flat. So what? What do you mean by too flat?
Like there's nothing special, nothing that stands out maybe? Nothing.
So
that's my interpretation of that.
Yes. Again, the idea is really, again, you can see on the website all the courses are really mentioned. So again, there is no specialization, there is no options. What is, you talk about the company project, which is quite important also. This is a practical approach of management. So we work a lot with case studies in the courses, and we have these 2 consultancy projects for me, which are not so flat, because it's 1 semester and 2 semesters. These 2 company projects, you work with the team group. You don't choose the person with whom you are going to work. We make the group for you in order that you have this diversity of background and nationalities, and you work really on a real project given by a company.
Right.
You reproduce really a survey and a project which is done by the group to the company, and which is proposed, and you have a public session where you just.
But have you heard this criticism before, that it's too general, that there's nothing?
It's too general. I think it's not like an MBA, because we say it's like an MBA, because we are really again about the contents of finance, of marketing. The idea is really to give you in a 1-year program an overview of what is management. So when you get out of the program, you're really able to work in the different sectors of activity and also in different jobs. We have people coming with a background, for instance, in literature and languages, and they work after the MEB in finance. We have people, engineers, now working in Google as marketing. So this is done for that.
What do you think, Casey? Do you think that?
I've personally never heard that the content is too flat, but I would definitely agree that the first semester especially, we work a lot with the concept learning by doing, which was great for me. It's hands-on. So while it's true that it's a generalist curriculum, that's what I signed up for. I wanted classes that were general. I wanted to gain information about finance, about marketing, about operations that I had never been exposed to before. But this program is not a master spécialisé. This is not a program where I'm going to specifically come to become a financial analyst or a specialist. This was really something that I wanted to do to gain an all-around global view of management.
And plus you're in your first semester still.
Right.
But talking to, for example, if you talk to students that are finishing right now, did they feel like they have some kind of differential, or did they really just stay with a kind of just a general feel, and not that they have to be overly specialized, but
there are people that, as part of the MEB, something that's really important is the support that we get from the Alumni Association. So we actually have old students that come to visit us. We have people that studied in the MEB.
Some examples of old students who
we have
came back?
a student that we have people that come to visit our class pretty much every couple of weeks, I would say. And we had a student that used to work for international banking and finance in Hong Kong, and she came to visit us, and she now works as a project manager in an advertising agency. And when we ask her, how does she deal with questions about the change of kind of viewpoint in her CV, she said that the MEB really helped her because it shows that you're adaptable. It shows that you're able to integrate easily into an international group. It really gives you a change of focus. You're not just specialized in finance like you were before. It really allows you to change. She's now working in, like I said, advertising and a completely creative domain. So for me, that was a 180, and that was something that I really enjoyed seeing because...
You're talking about Alice Thomas?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And she came and talked to us.
Okay. What are your requirements in English and GMAT? For the English level, it must be really a very fluent English. So we ask a minimum of TOEFL is 100, and an IELTS it's 7.7. We don't take the TOEIC, which is too easy for us. And if you have no test, you can pass the test at the school in our different campuses. You will have a written and an oral test in the different languages you want to apply. So if you want to study, for instance, in Spanish, you are not Spanish, you can be tested in Spanish at the school, and you will be, of course, tested in English if you have no test, or if your test is too old. We want a TOEFL of less than 2 years, and if it's under 100, you will have to pass the test again. For the GMAT, we have GMATs around 600. Sometimes it can be less, sometimes it can be more. So GMAT is one of the requirements, but it's not the only one. And so we look also after the application form, which is quite important. The profile of the student, what you have done before, his background, his level of studies.
Could you say more or less, how do you weigh the GMAT? Is it like 50% is the GMAT? And
yes, I can say the scores count for...
The other components are what percentage, more or less?
Yes. When you pass, the 50% is for the interview, 30% is for the application form, and 20% for the test.
So the most important component is the interview?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the level they have when they come to see us, they have already worked, majority have worked 2-3 years. A majority have a first background, which is quite good. So the idea is really to see about the personality of the people, to see if we want to recruit them, the companies we want to recruit them at the end of the course. Yeah. We want to see what they can bring also to the program if we want to work with them. So this is quite a sort of interview of personality, like also an interview of recruitment.
So going back to the GMAT, I mean, if my GMAT is say 550, should I be worried? Should I not?
You can
apply?
try. You can. Yes, you can try to apply with. It will be, of course,
because it's below
not a very good grade if we transform it on a grade on 20 to compare GMAT, TAJMAT, grade, and SHL, because you can also pass the test, which is an SHL test, which replace the GMAT or the TAJMAT. So if you have no test, you can have it also at the school. But so after that, we put all on the grade of 20 in order to try to compare something which can be comparable. So you can apply. Yeah. If we have a GMAT of 400 or under 500, maybe it's not, it's too low.
Even if I have a great interview?
I think.
Yes, because you need to have a level to understand finance, to understand statistics. And what we see through GMAT or TAJMAT or SHL, your ability to be involved after in quantitative methods, to do some mathematics level are necessary to go through finance, marketing, and.
Okay, that's clear.
So for Gurgen track, one has to apply to MDI separately and then choose to come to ESCP for a semester. I hope I understand that well. I'm not sure I understand it well.
So I guess they're asking if they have to apply
when you
to
apply
MDI.
To the MEB, which is the MEB with MDI. If you are Indian and you want to start in MDI, you have to apply in MDI. If you are a European guy, you can choose any campuses you want and you apply to Gurgen and Paris or Gurgen, Madrid,
I think
or
we had
Gurgen,
a
Berlin.
similar question already.
Sorry?
We had a similar question
Yes,
earlier.
we had it already. So.
Okay, so next one.
Yes, we have people working now in finance.
Can you read the question?
Yes, sorry. Should somebody with a goal to work in finance apply for MEB? Yes, but we have also some specialized master in finance. And if really you want to work in finance, this is really your goal, your objective, I really recommend you to apply to the specialized master in finance, because you will do 450 or 500 hours of finance only. Right. So if you want really to specialize, and you know already you want to work in finance.
But you're saying this program is...
Yes, of course, but you will have in the MEB, because finance is quite important, you have a course in first semester, then in second, and you have an option. So you have a total of 90 hours of finance and 90 hours of marketing. They are the main tracks, the main courses into the MEB. But if you really want to work in finance, on the markets, for instance, we have a specialized master, you will go really deeper in finance. As we say in the MEB, you will see different things, but not only finance.
Right,
so
I understand.
It really depends on the professional project you have.
But if somebody that doesn't have any experience in finance and wants to, because the purpose of the MEB, as I understand, it's to give people a chance to do like a 180, right?
Yeah,
like you were saying earlier. So somebody that doesn't have any experience in finance, would it be worth it to go through this first to then specialize, or do you think that they could apply directly to a
master's? Of course, they can apply to specialized master in finance. You have also a range of backgrounds in the specialized master we offer in finance or in different fields, where you will find less international, of course, but a lot of people coming from different backgrounds, engineers, but coming from university and wanted to work in finance. It's recommended to have some internships, of course, when you come and you want to apply in finance in this master, but really, I recommend if you really want in finance, it's really your choice, and you do a master in finance.
Right. Casey, do you have any colleagues that are looking to work in finance?
Yeah, we have people in our class that I know when we meet people that have graduated from the MEB, I know that there are people that work in finance now, and like Pascale said, you have 2 different tracks where you can either specialize in marketing or in finance. So there are people that they want to work in finance afterwards, but they don't have a degree in that. And I think that you definitely do get finance training. I'm in finance class right now. But we also have Master Spécialisé at ESCP Europe. So it really depends if you know exactly what you want to do. I think that MEB gives you options. And if finance happens to be one of those options that you want to pursue, you definitely can. You'll definitely have the experience. And
do you know anybody specifically that's applied to finance jobs, or
I know that there are I know that there are people in our class that are going to apply for finance jobs, and I know that there are graduates that work in finance now.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What the people can do, candidates, if the prospects are interested by the program and wanted to have information specifically on this type of profiles, they can also go on the website or ask the recruitment on Top Apply to give them the contact of people working now in finance and having done the MEB with a different background when they came into the program. So this is really something we can do for, yes. Yeah. So what level of GPA do you require? What was your GPA?
My GPA, I have a 3.5 GPA for both of the bachelor's degrees that I have with honors, but I'm not sure in ECTS credits or the French scale.
The GPA is not, when we recruit, GPA is in some countries, they give it, not in every country. So this is something we can't give an information because it's not on all the applications.
So you don't
GPA.
Consider it
I see it. Yes, of course. If it's a good one, it's also in favor of the students, of the candidate. But we can't say that it's a sort of something normalized in the recruitment because all the students coming to us have not in their countries it's grade. It's GPA. So
okay, and out of the countries applicants that do, is there kind of an average GPA that you see for the admitted 3.5 is about okay, yeah. And how important really is academic level for the selection vis-a-vis experience, right? Because we're talking about GPA here, but at what point is experience
when we see the application form, there is 3 points we're really looking for. The first, the degree. So the level of degree where they have studied. Of course, if you come from Oxford or Cambridge, it's different. If you come from the London, I don't know, I don't want to say.
Right.
But we look after the level of the school or the degree and the degree. The reputation, of course, of the university is important. After we can say the ranking, the GPA, if you have some information about this, we look at it. After that, we look at the professional experience, internship, professional experience, what they've done. And after that, the international profile of the student. He has some international experience, if he has studied abroad, if he has some languages, and so on. So this is the 3 points, main points we look after.
Okay.
Alors, the ideal profile doesn't exist in the MEB because we think that diversity is really part of the world and it must be part of the MEB. So people are really diverse, and we think that this diversity of backgrounds, of profile, of ages, of experiences drive the program to sort of creativity, and creativity drives to innovative management. So we believe a lot that we don't want to have a similar class. So by the way, there is no ideal profile. Or if we say there is an ideal profile, he has worked 2 years, he has done something different than business, and he wants to go into the business, and he wants to work internationally.
Okay, but concretely, I mean, what do you mean by diversity? Do you have some facts and figures to back that up? What do you mean when you say that you have a diverse class?
Backgrounds, I've studied very different, they come from architecture, they come from law, they come from political sciences, they come from engineer schools, medicine. We have this type of really...
Do you know more or less the percentages? What are the
We have many percentages on the website. Right. I'm sorry, I don't get them in mind, but we are
Yeah.
So first, second, we try to manage the diversity, so to have no dominant nationality. For instance, we have only 60% of French in the school, which
16.
is very
16%.
Sorry,
Yeah.
16, 1-6.
Okay.
We have around 16 German people, 16 Spanish, 5% of UK, and after that we have many people coming from other continents. So the idea also is to have this diversity of nationality working together. Right. So diversity is a highlight of the MEB. Diversity of the tracks you can choose, diversity of the background, diversity of the duration of experiences, and the diversity of the nationalities. This mix we try to manage, and we think that really this mix, you learn more from someone who is different from you. And
right.
We see it very well in the consultancy project.
Casey, do you see this on a day-to-day basis on campus? Do people interact, or do people separate into their own groups?
No.
How does it work out on the ground?
On the ground, in the MEB, I think one of the best examples is the consultancy project that we do. First of all, in my class, we have people from every country you can imagine. We have people from Russia, from the US, we have people from the UK, France, all over Europe. And when we do a consultancy project, you never have any idea who you're going to work with. So, for example, I had a group where I was put into a class with an Italian, a French person, a Belgian person, myself, and someone who's franco-allemand, so half German, half French. I can tell you that it really pushes you to learn how to adapt. It pushes you to work with people who have completely different ideas than you. They all come from different backgrounds. We have people in our class that studied law. We have people that are engineers. Someone who studies law and someone who studies literature, they're going to approach a problem differently than an engineer. And all of that is, I think that works really well in the MEB. I would have been afraid to see that we have two groups that separate themselves, and that's not at all the case. Everyone is really forced to mix. Every time we have a project in a class, the administration does their best to mix people from different countries, different backgrounds, and who speak different languages. Mm-hmm. So,
what about outside of class?
Outside of class?
Do you find yourself hanging out more with the Americans, or do you?
No, actually, I'm the only American in Paris, so I think I'm.
So you're lucky.
Right, I'm definitely pushed to meet with different people. Everyone has been very open, though. I would say it's an inclusive community, and the French students there that know Paris pretty well have done a great job of inviting everyone out. We have, I think for every campus, there's a Facebook group. As soon as the semester starts and all of the activities are posted, we go out, cultural activities, we do lots of different things together. So I think it's been a great experience so far.
Okay, cool.
You are requiring 2 years of experience, but one of your agents told me that it's not absolute criteria for admission. What's the truth? The truth is that 2 years are not, of course, compulsory recommended. And as I said, on the website you will find, because we are very transparent about this, that we recruit people who are 22 years old with some internship but no real professional experience, even if we recommend it, and people who are 30 years old and they have a real background of professional experience. So we think that the MEB class is the real world. When you will work in companies later on, or if you have worked already, you work with people of different ages, or different nationalities, or different backgrounds. In my team in Paris, I'm just working with a Spanish girl, a Canadian girl, and one is 45 years old, the other one is 28 years old. Mm-hmm. I'm working also with my marketing maid, Alexis, from Venezuela. So we are really a school, even in the administrative staff and in the professors, we are really mixed, and we are very international, and we have this difference of backgrounds and ages.
Right. But going back to the years of experience, for example, I'm from the US, and in the US a lot of students do internships during the summers, mm-hmm. And they gain some work experience like that. It's not the same as being hired somewhere and working there for a year, no. But it's some kind of work experience. If I just graduate with that kind of experience, is that possibly enough to be admitted?
So we will see in the interview, we're talking about the interview, what is your maturity?
Okay.
This is something we will manage. Sometimes we have some people of 22 or 23 years old, and they have lived in different countries. They're very international. They have not worked such a long time. They have know so many professional experience, but really they have a huge maturity, and we meet really people amazing, I guess, in this program. So we compensate, and the interview is very central, and the application also to really try to. There is no bad candidates. There is no bad program. The idea is really to match the good program to the good candidates.
What about on the other end? Like if I have 5 years of experience, is that too late to apply?
You can apply. We'll just inform you that you could also apply, like, as you say, to an MBA program if you prefer. And the way we are doing things in the MEB, you will be mixed with people younger. So this is your choice. After.
So in that case, why would I choose the MEB over an MBA? Isn't it better to get an MBA?
The MEB is really this cross-cultural approach of management also, and this multicultural and intercultural approach we have at the school ESCP Europe. So we try really to manage it. And you have this, I don't think that a lot of MBAs propose these two continents or 2 countries program in a 1 year. In 1 year. So this is our proposition also, which is quite different for that.
And Casey, did you consider doing an MBA? If you just waited 1 more year, you could probably apply to an MBA.
Sure.
How come you?
I considered doing an MBA, but at the same time, a lot of MBA programs require more than 1 year. And they're also a lot more expensive. And for me, I really wanted to be able to take a class that allowed me to reorient myself while gaining experience. For me, I was looking for a program where I could have entered with 1 or 2 years of experience. Obviously, I had 2 years of experience, but I also didn't want to work in the same job and become too specialized in something. For example, I worked in media and then I specialized in digital media. I did not want to specialize to the point where I wouldn't be able to change sectors. So for me, after 2 years of experience, I think it's a good time to get a management or a business degree if you don't have one. And also I know that there are several companies that would help me finance an MBA later if I wanted to do it. So I think that's more of what I would be looking for.
Okay.
I should say, just to answer, that the MEB is a sort of the answer of the European to the MBA programs. We say junior MBA, but I think yes, it's a European way of doing things, of approaching the management, which is quite different. And this is our answer to the MBA, which are really, I guess, programs born and raised in United States. They are Anglo-Saxon programs more than European ones.
Okay.
So I think that what we do with the MEB is an original answer and a very original program, which is a little different, even if we have some similar, as I said, for the contents, but we have a similar approach.
Okay.
So this question I don't understand so much. What are the various scholarships available for Indian candidates and when they are announced during application process? So if it's, again, an Indian candidate wanted to start in MDI, I really ask you and recommend to see on the website of the Management Development Institute of Gurgaon to see what is offered for you. If you are Indian students living in Europe and wanted to do 2 countries in Europe, you will see on the website you have many scholarships available and different ones. So sorry, but go back to the website.
Can you talk maybe a little bit more about the scholarships in general? You were saying that it's much more affordable than an MBA.
Right, absolutely.
Is that just the baseline price tag, or is that also because of scholarships that help?
Personally, I do benefit from a merit scholarship at ESCP, but I know that there are scholarships available to students that want to study, for example, in a certain language. I think the Berlin campus offers scholarships for students who want to study in German. That's maybe more specific to the country and the track that you choose. So I know that those
they might have to have already a specific level
right.
of
If you already speak German and you want to continue in German, I think through a relationship with the German government, there are options available for that sort of scholarship.
So most of the scholarships are merit scholarships, or do they have
merit
any
and social needs?
Right.
We have both. We have a lot of different scholarships available. We've tried really to be very clear on the website. So you will find, for instance, if you start in Italy, you have also some scholarships given by the Chamber of Commerce of Torino for these students starting in Italy. You have also some scholarships given by the Foundation Becca for people starting in Monterrey or in Spain. So you have different scholarships, and for people in France, for instance, if they have scholarships from the cruise, they can, as we have got the Master 2 in Paris, in France, if you spend a semester here, you can apply. Also, you can go on this, with the cruise scholarships. So this is a very specific scholarships, French one.
Okay,
but
great. So look
we
on
have
the
many,
website.
but the school is giving.
It depends on your situation.
Gives 20 scholarships based on merit and 20 scholarships based on financial need.
Okay.
Casey, how is the life on campus? I think to address that, there are 2 different major factors that happen on campus. We have the academic side of things, and then we have the fun side of things. Not that academics aren't fun, but we do have the Board of Arts, and we have a student association that I think it's 50 different student associations that are on campus. They host parties, they have events, we have galas throughout the year. They have tickets reserved at, I think, the opera and at certain theaters for students where they send out email announcements saying, if you're interested in this, here are the different tickets we have available.
Have you gone to any events yet?
I've done a tour of the Opera Garnier, which was extremely interesting.
Nice.
I loved it. I've also been to a couple of events that were hosted on the school. And then on the academic side of things, also the school does a really good job of inviting people to conferences. Mm-hmm. We had the founder of Dannon that spoke to us, I think, last week.
Franck Ribou from Dannon, yes.
But we have, all throughout the year, we have different opportunities to interact with people in business, to really see what's going on more on the academic side of things, but then we also have the Bureau of Arts that organizes an enormous amount of activities for students.
Okay.
Can you provide some information about employment statistics for MEBs after graduation? Do you work with companies more locally, depending on the location of the campus of ESCP? Where are some of the companies that recruit MEB? Oops. So many questions. Yeah. So we have information on the website, and we're just on the point of publishing the last one. So the statistics.
You remember more or less?
Yes. People find employment 92%. 92% of the class 2011 have found that job in less than 6 months. No, I will say it after the graduation ceremony, which is a good rate. 51 student on 2 works in a different country than the one who has studied, which is very important. 80% said that they have an international job. They work in different locations. For instance, you can do the MEB in 3 countries, in fact, study in 2 different countries and make the internship, and then or get the direct job after in a 3rd country. For instance, we have people working in Asia. A French guy has studied in Berlin and London and is now in Hong Kong. So we have a lot of locations and we have a lot of different jobs. First is consultancy this year. Second is finance. Third is marketing for the 3 first. And after we have many, many, many jobs, according again to the background you have and to your professional objectives. And we work with many different companies. So we have, of course, some local companies in the different campuses, which is true, but we work also with all the international companies. So Google, you will see on the website also, this is really an information you can have. It's very transparent.
And what's the mood on campus, Casey? Do you feel like students are very anxious about getting jobs, or
no?
In general, I mean, given the situation, it's normal, right? I mean, I think most people are, but do you feel that they are very stressed out about it, or if they are, do they usually succeed? What have you seen?
I don't think people are that stressed out about it at all, which might seem surprising because of the financial environment. But I think that a lot of people in this program are pretty confident because they have knowledge generally about management, and they're able to orient their CV or their resume towards the type of job that they want. Also, a lot of these candidates already speak multiple languages. They're highly mobile, which makes it easier to look for a job outside of your own country.
Okay, so maybe they're not that stressed out because they don't have to work in Europe.
Right, they don't have to work in Europe. They don't have to work in, if their country, if they're having a hard time finding a job, you're not limited. When you do the MEB, you really open yourself up to opportunities internationally. Okay. Personally, I might not look for a job in the US. I might look for a job in any number of European countries or in Latin America or in Africa. I'm really open, and I think on campus, you really, talking to other people in the class, you get the feeling that, one of my friends from Morocco might want to work in London afterwards, or she might want to work in Africa, and she just hasn't made up her mind yet, but she can apply wherever she wants because she has the linguistic abilities, and she really has a CV that's rounded.
I think that the employability of the students of the MEB of ESCP Europe generally, because they are very flexible, very international when they come to join us, very mobile. So they are not just focused, I want to get a job in Procter & Gamble in Paris, for instance. They are more open-minded. This is very important also to be, to come with the spirit of citizen of the world and not wanted and able to really to move and to go into different countries where there is employment. The idea is really to give you a good training, a good tool to get the right job, but the right job anywhere in the world. So this mobility, they have it when they come to join the program. I didn't really know ESCP Europe. Could you tell us more about your institution? What's the difference between you and LSC, for instance? Okay, so ESCP Europe at the base is École Supérieure de Commerce de Paris, which is the first grande école à la française, what we call the grandes écoles, French grandes écoles. And it is the first school created in the world, 1819. Stanford, I guess, was created, the first American was created after ESCP 30 years after in America. So ESCP Europe now is by a merge in 1999 with another school which was EAP, European School of Management, is now a school which is not based only in a country but based in 5 countries. But this is the same school. This is not 5 different schools because you put an S at institution. So I guess you think we have 5 schools. No, it's only 1 school, 1 faculty, and the students are just studying in different countries. They are not studying only in 1 campus. So if I take any programs of ESCP Europe at the moment, the MEB is a 1-year management in 2 countries, Europe or the rest of the world as we see that. And the MEB, Master in Management, for instance, with the program Grande École, Master in Management in the 2-year program, the people have also the opportunity of studying in different campuses. So this is our brand, this is our mark, this is the way we do, and we want to train our students in an open mind, in different cultures, and this is what we call the cross-cultural approach.
Okay. So you said it's a grande école.
Yes.
Why is this one of the famous schools in France? Why would you say it gets this reputation? What are the strengths that lead it to have this status, right? Because this is an important status.
Yes.
If it's a grande école.
Can
you explain a little bit more?
I think Kaze maybe will answer also what she feels, but we have very good professors first. We have a very, very high selection, so we select the good students, and at the end, the good students make the grandes écoles, and the grandes écoles make the good students. It's a little the story of la poule et l'œuf. But what is important, so we recruit good, chicken and egg. So we really select our students, and I think our professors are really good in research, but also very good in teaching. And people really are very interested, they love the teaching at school, I guess. I can say that. So this is one of our, what else?
But I mean, LSE also has very good professors that are very good at teaching and researching. What are some differences that you could...
I think it's different because I didn't know ESCP Europe before I started applying, being American. I wasn't at all familiar with the Grandes Écoles in France. And when I started asking Europeans or French people, what are the best schools that I could apply to? I was constantly given ESCP Europe in the top 5 that people named off. And so I started looking at the school. But I think one of the differences too between the school and the London School of Economics is that in London, you're based in London, it's an Anglo-Saxon system, and we come right back to the same idea that this is really a European school and it's founded on 5 different campuses. So you really take a multicultural approach from the first day that you enter the campus. And in addition to that, I would say that there's an extremely strong relation between ESCP Europe and the alumni. As a student, I benefit from the opportunity to have a coach or a mentor. I can contact the Alumni Association, and I have workshops for my CV. I have workshops to go through an interview process. They will help me find internships that correspond to my profile. And then in addition, they have an alumni network that is very loyal to the school. Monday coming up.
More loyal than other schools,
I can't say if it's more loyal, but I just think that that's definitely an ace for ESCP Europe. They're extremely close to their students, and they really try to do a good job to put you in contact with people that have done one of the programs before.
I should just want to add something. The Grandes Écoles have really based their proposition of programs about this balance between conceptual approach and pragmatical approach and internships. I think that the Grandes Écoles Françaises were the first to include into the training, into their program, these internships, these gap years, this professional coming to the school to make some courses to people just to see how it happens in the real life. So this is interaction between professional experience and pragmatical approach and the conceptual approach of the courses. This is this mix, I think, which makes the reputation of the school also and is a success, I guess.
Okay.
Does it make any difference to apply in March, April or May in terms of chances of admission? It can be a problem sometimes because some tracks are more demanded than others. So if you know exactly the tracks you want to go and you're sure, I recommend to apply earlier. But the risk is that you will have not your first choice, but the second or third one. This is only the risk.
But I know, for example, some schools in the U.S. they have rolling admissions, right? So
Yes.
if you apply earlier, you're more likely
Yes.
to have a spot already.
Does
this to have a spot admitted? Is it anything like that here, or does it purely depend on what track you're applying to?
Now, first, we have different sessions of admissions on the different campuses, and it's true that in Spain, for instance, the campaign of recruitment are more in June and July. In UK, it's earlier, more January, February, March. So we have this also to deal with, but we have a number of recruitments we are sharing between the different campuses. It's quite a complicated organizations. But I really guess that if you want, some tracks are really demanded, and if you are sure that this track you want to do it, first served, first arrived, first served. But so it can happen that you wanted to study, for instance, in London first semester, or Russia and London, and it's not possible. But you can do London, Russia in other sense. You know, you can be able to change your semester, London, Paris, Paris, London. So, but take care about the tracks and the local languages.
So to clarify, you would recommend, if you already know, more or less, to apply as early as possible.
To know, yes, MEB is really the program you want to be recruited in, and you have really a choice of tracks you really want. Sometimes we give the opportunity to students to make 4 choices. Sometimes they do 4 choices, but sometimes we have candidates that make only 1 choice. They say, I really want to go here.
And do you consider that when you're looking at admissions?
Yeah, of course we do. But when we have people who really wanted this track, it's a good candidate. He arrives with only 1 proposition, 1 option. If he's good, we take him, and he will have the proposition he wanted to get. But if he applies in May or June, maybe if he has only 1 track he wants to choose, maybe he will not have it because
maybe more difficult to make.
Yes,
right.
Okay.
Absolutely. And we try also, as I said, to manage the diversity. So we try also to work with quotas not to have all French people in the same program. So to have this mix again. So this is something we manage at the school. Okay. And it's would the MEB also be a great program if I'm looking into entrepreneurship, starting my own business and being able to find like-minded peers among students at ESCP? Of course, every program can lead for entrepreneurship if something you want to do. We have also program in entrepreneurship. If you really want to, you have a project of creating a company which is quite advanced, and you want to do it and create your company at the end of the program, we have a specialized master in it, which is taught in French. But of course, now we have people and students studying in our programs MBA, MEB, MEM, and different specialized master. We have always some entrepreneurs creating their own company at the end. So every road can lead to entrepreneurship, in fact. But we have, if you really want to, you have really a project, we have a specialized master which is really dedicated to it. So this is a choice again to go through this specialized master in entrepreneurship, or you say, okay, I want to create my company, but I'm not sure what I want, if I want to do it just at the end of the school, maybe I want to work before. So the MEB can also be an option. This is your choice again.
Yeah. Among the students in the MEB, for example, just to ask Casey, do you find that, do you know a lot of students, you have a lot of colleagues that are doing side projects, they have their own businesses, or they're thinking about starting their own businesses?
Absolutely. In our class for MEB Paris, there's a student who started his own business already. He works with the ESCP incubator, and he started a legal firm. So that's something that he's working on right now, and I think that it's definitely, the MEB content is definitely complementary for him. Okay. And personally, I work with a startup outside of class, and so that's something that I find really enriching, gaining hands-on experience.
What's the startup about?
It's a small startup in France, and we sell boxes of fruit to companies, and we give a portion of the proceeds to benefit education in Africa. Okay. So it's been, but I think there are definitely students that are interested in that. There are students that are always in any of the programs going to start working with the incubator and start their own businesses.
So you mentioned this incubator.
We have an incubator.
That's interesting for people who want to do.
It's an academic incubator. So all the students of the school from any programs can join and can develop their own company. There is a space dedicated to it. And it's really good to go sometimes because there is such a spirit of creation in this. So it's just very close to the school because it's in Paris.
How many students more or less are involved with the incubator? Do you know?
I guess 100. maybe?
Quite a few.
Okay.
At least.
And outside of the incubator, we also have programs throughout the year for people who are interested in entrepreneurship. I think there's a concours for people that are interested in participating in a sort of contest to win maybe funding for their business. And then we also have our professor of the consultancy project works with entrepreneurs who are starting up in Paris. So we're constantly invited to things like pitch camp to work on your pitch if you're thinking about launching your own business. That's
Okay.
So what kind of difference is there between MEB and SMIB? I will answer, but I leave Kazé because I think you were...
I applied.
You have been admitted to SMIB too,
Yes.
so what was the differences?
I applied to the MEB and to the SMIB, but the difference for me, first of all, was the location. I wanted to be able to move between Paris and another country. I knew that I wanted to be in Europe. So that was one of them, and also the ability to study in 2 different languages, not just English or French. I wanted to be able to study, if I had chosen Madrid, I would have been able to study in Spanish, for example.
I ended up choosing
Germany. I ended up choosing Germany, and also I think for me the Master Spécialisé and Master, I was looking for the MEB program.
The master more than the specialized
right,
master.
I was looking for that. I didn't want to do anything specialized. I wanted more of a generalist curriculum.
Okay, last question.
Do you offer accommodation? Where are you located in Paris and Madrid? Yes, we offer some accommodation in Paris and London, and we offer a lot of, also there is sort of a intranet between the students where they can find apartments to share them. We're in the very center in Paris. We're located quite Avenue de la République, which is very in the center of Paris, so close to Beaubourg, Rue Oberkampf, which is a new area, moving a little in Paris at the moment. And in Madrid, we are close to the school, not completely, not the school. The school is close to the center, but a little outside. So it's very in the suburb. But you're going to Madrid in maybe 25 minutes. And a lot of students live directly in the center of Madrid. They share apartments and flats. So this is the way we do. We think that also when you do our programs, all the locations of our schools are in the very center of the capital, in Berlin, in London, in Paris, Madrid, or Torino. So it's also for you the opportunity to live into the city with the people there.
But
and that's only between you.
Okay, and in terms of housing, how does that work out here in Paris? Because I know it's very expensive.
Sure.
How do the students find good central places to live in where they don't have to commute for too long until they get to school?
I think it depends where you want to live, but I know, for example, coming to Paris, like I said, we're very active on the internet and we're very active on Facebook. So a lot of students, when the MEB changes campuses, everyone changes at the same time. So we get in contact directly with the students who are there and we try to find housing, maybe switch apartments. But I know that in terms of the price of housing, a lot of students live in co-location, so flat shares. And either they live with people that are French if they want to work on their French, or they live with people that are in the program, and 2 or 3 of them will find an apartment to share together.
Is that how it worked out for you?
For me, I ended up doing co-location in Paris. And for me, it wasn't as important to live right next to the school because I really wanted to explore the city. So I just found an apartment with a French person, and it really helped me to practice my French. So.
She's a French person from the school?
No, it's just a French person who works. He's an engineer, and I just
great.
just wanted to.
And where's your where are you located?
I'm in the 14th arrondissement, so near Porte de Vanves. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, that was the last question. I'll give you a couple minutes to give some concluding thoughts. Any concluding thoughts?
So no, for the candidates, interesting really to get a full-time program in management, but only in management without specialization, and wants really to have an international experience and a multicultural one, really come to the MEB. It's a really amazing program, and we'll be very happy to see you. You can come and meet us in different open sessions we organize. In Paris, the next open day will be on the 23rd of February. But we organize open session in London, in Berlin, in Madrid and Torino. So do not hesitate to go and see on the website, come and see us, do a good benchmark. There is many programs, and the programs that the people have, they have the choice. And to do the right choice is always something difficult. So the best way to do the right choice is to go in the schools if you can, and to see the different programs discuss with the people, ask the students, try to get in touch with alumni, see if the school has the triple accreditation as we have, EQUIS, ISSB and AMBA, which has levels of quality for the school, so this is something important, and see about also the networking, the alumni association. We have more than 40,000 alumni working in all continents, all countries. So this is a school is also about network, not only about programs. So welcome to ESCP Europe if you want.
Okay, great.
I would just say that for ESCP and for the MEB, it's really for, I think, people that want to broaden their horizons. It's really for people who want to be pushed to work with people from different cultures, who really want to push themselves to be a citizen of the world and to work internationally. And I think that if that's your profile, it would be a good fit. But I think ESCP Europe also doesn't try to pressure anyone or sell their programs. We're really just there to make sure that it's the right candidate that fits with the program. And in my case, that worked out beautifully, and I absolutely love the program. But I would definitely encourage everyone to do their research and just really be comfortable with the program that they choose.
All right, great. Thank you for being here today.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks to you.